What's up, Internet? So I'm back today. I've been talking about a lot of really beautiful pieces of cinema lately, some really incredible movies that have been released over the past couple of months. And today I decided let's jump in and talk about something a little more lighthearted. We're going to talk about Disney's new film, Encanto. So Encanto is directed by Byron Howard and Jared Bush, and it's the tale of an extraordinary family, the Madrigals, who live in a hidden mountain of Colombia, in a magical house, a vibrant town, a wondrous, charmed place called an Encanto. The magic of the Encanto has blessed every child in the family with a unique gift, except for one, Mirabelle. But when she discovers that the magic surrounding the Encanto is in danger, Mirabelle decides that she, the only ordinary Madrigal, might be her exceptional family's last hope. I went into this movie with some pretty high expectations. It's from the filmmakers who brought us Tangled, which is one of my all-time favorite Disney films. I really love Tangled. I love the music of that movie. I think it's really great. I also loved Zootopia, which they both worked on as well. And I went into this with very high expectations, and what this was a pretty run-of-the-mill standard Disney film that I thought was okay. It's pretty average, and it's not one that I can imagine myself revisiting that frequently, but I did enjoy it while I was watching it. So yeah, the first thing I want to talk about is the music in this film. So I don't think I've ever talked about it before on this channel, but I am not a fan of Lin-Manuel Miranda, and I think he's a wonderful person. I listen to the podcast, My Brother and Me. He's been on there several times. And I think he is a truly wonderful human being who is a seemingly great guy, does a lot of good, but I can't stand his music. I find it really annoying. I have, in virtually every project that he has created, watched it and just been kind of like, what is the appeal? I just do not understand what the appeal of his music is. I saw In the Heights earlier last year. I did not like that movie one bit. I thought that it was really poorly written and that the musical numbers were awful. I've seen about 15 minutes of Hamilton, and that was enough for me to shut it off. And I did not like the music of Moana. I thought that it was pretty bleh. And this movie is similar. I really loved the opening musical number. I thought that it was really well done. Once we got into the musical number of The Strong Sister, which I did not like that actress's vocal performance. I really don't like the mixture of like the rap parts with the singing. I don't think it always meshes well, and it's become such like a cliched standard of Miranda's music that it's just like, okay, we know we're gonna get it at some point, but in this it's like it just doesn't fit the vibe of the rest of the film, and the lyricism isn't really all that great. The musical numbers progressively just got worse to where I was like, okay, well, my favorite part about Disney films when there's music in them is the music. And you look at something like cultural representation of this part of the country. This is Colombia. You have a movie that was released recently about Mexico, Coco, which had beautiful music that was all incredibly memorable, well written, and I really enjoyed it. You look at a movie that these directors have worked on before, like Tangled, which has incredibly beautiful music. And I just felt like almost every musical number in this film, with the exception of the intro song where all of the characters were being introduced, was forgettable. We Don't Talk About Bruno was okay, some charming moments in it, but like most of the musical numbers, I'm not going to remember in a couple months, and that's unfortunate because I thought animation in this film was beautiful. It's very reminiscent of Tangled. A lot of the characters' facial structures are similar. There was one character in particular, the daughter, who had the ability to make the flowers appear. Her facial structure was incredibly similar to Rapunzel's in Tangled. So you can tell these guys like to use a specific visual style, which didn't take away from the movie for me. I love the color palettes in this movie. They're beautiful, they're vibrant, they're bright. Really gives that tone of just like warm, happy home. But the thing is, this movie doesn't feel like there's a lot of weight to it, which is unfortunate because the whole plot of the movie is these people who have these extraordinary gifts and the house begins to crumble. It feels like that's so pushed to the back that it just never really feels like there's any weight involved. It's like it happens and then it's over and that's the movie. It's unlike a lot of the other Disney films where these really heavy stakes are put into place. And there is this really beautiful scene towards the third act of the film that sort of reveals a little bit more about what's going on. And that part was the best and most strong part of the film to me, was the grandmother who they sacrificed everything to get that home. And I really loved that element of the film, and I thought that was great. Maribel's character, there's moments where you feel for her. She just feels like she's there to move the plot along. There's not enough about her character that I found interesting to want to stick around with her. This whole idea of being the only ordinary person inside an extraordinary family is really interesting, and I like that because she really does hold the family together, and I liked that element of her personality. But aside from moving the plot forward, she felt very similar to a film I just talked about, Moana, where Moana to me didn't feel like she had anything super unique or interesting about her to where I'm completely invested in her character. For instance, like Coco, or like Rapunzel in Tangled, where these characters have very unique and interesting personalities. She just is there to move the plot forward, and that's unfortunate because I really liked the way she was animated. I liked the actress a lot. I thought she gave a great vocal performance, but I didn't care as much about her character as I do some of the other characters in Disney's catalog. This movie does explore some darker elements, which Disney likes to get into. Like I said, in the third act, there's this whole plot with this guy Bruno that was in their family, which I feel like could have been much more interesting. It's just kind of revealed, and then they move on from it. When everyone figures out what was going on, everybody for just some reason is okay with it now, and they don't really care. It's just like so much of it feels like a jumbled mess, and that it was really difficult to structure it out correctly. And that's disappointing because, like I said, I thought the animation was really beautiful. I wish that it had better music and a better story because I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more. It's not to say I don't think it's an enjoyable, just casual watch. Amidst watching a lot of these films that I've been really excited for, just turned it on a whim to watch it because I love watching Disney stuff. And I'm not upset that I saw it. I felt like it was an enjoyable watch. It's just not something that I plan on watching again. So have you seen Encanto yet? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I'm interested to hear what your opinion was on this one. I just thought it was kind of middle of the road. Nothing spectacular, nothing terrible, just kind of average. As always, if you could like the video and subscribe to the channel, helps me out a lot, lets me know the type of content you're looking for. And I've got plenty of new content planned in the near future. As always, Internet, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.